Hey BookTube, Chelsea, the reading outlaw here to do a video about my 2020 hobby plans. So every year I make a little list of things that I would like to learn to do in the next year. This is different from like goals that I have, although they are goals. This is less about like a specific tangible like project and more just about like general skill acquisition. So I don't try and like set any limits on it. I just give very broad categories for a new thing or skill that I'd like to learn. I try to let them build off one another. This coming up year, I'm really excited about a couple of things, so I wanted to go ahead and just like talk to you guys about them. The first one up on the list is I am planning on getting better at Tunisian crochet. So this is my crochet kit. Obviously, like I'm missing some needles. They have become scattered around my general crafting space, but I think I've already shown you guys a little bit of this, but Tunisian crochet is a lot like a regular crochet, except the hooks are a lot longer. And instead of doing like a stitch at a time as you go, you basically pick up all the stitches you're going to be working on in like one pass, then take them all back off in another pass. So you get a lot denser fabric. You get a lot less like stretchy fabric, but it's a lot warmer, and it does a lot of really like interesting things in terms of like construction. So I see it a lot specifically used in like garments, and I'm really excited to continue to advance my like wearable crafting repertoire. So I'm really excited about continuing to learn that. Along a similar line, I think I finally decided that this is going to be that I learned to use the drop spindle. The drop spindle is a way of spinning fiber into yarn that doesn't use like a huge massive setup. It uses a drop spindle. I'll insert a picture. And essentially you attach fiber, hold it still, twist the spindle, and then let it go with the fiber so that it spins the fiber and twists it into that really tight yarn. That's a single, and then you can then use all of that single yarn to twist together into a bigger yarn, repeat the process, etc., etc. It is a way to take fiber and turn it into yarn, in case I haven't said those words enough yet. I'm really looking forward to, like, this is what I meant when I said like building on skills, because I'm really looking forward to adding one more step in my knowledge of the development of like sheep to wearable garment. That is a chain of construction that I find really, really interesting. This will get me one step closer to that. I am making it like a little bit of a stretch idea to experiment with like carding and dyeing and some of the more like fiber-based stuff. But before I get into any of that, I want to make sure I know what to do with that fiber when I get there, hence the drop spindling. The next thing that I want to learn how to get good at is something I've also already bought supplies for, and that is paper quilling. So paper quilling uses super, super thin strips of paper. I just went online and bought like a ton of them in different colors. But as you can see, or as I'm about to show you, they are super, super thin. That is not an ASMR friendly sound, but the paper themselves is like super thin and super long. And you basically take your individual paper using a stylus or a tool or a needle, you roll up the paper and you make it into like a spiral, a really tight spiral, and then you can glue that spiral into like different shapes and basically make like paper art out of it. Again, I will insert a picture here to give you like kind of an idea of how it works. But yeah, it's very therapeutic. You just roll the paper, shape it, glue it, pin it, all of that good stuff. I first saw this idea on YouTube when I was looking at like making cards and doing like hand lettering, and I saw somebody who had done some hand lettering and then glued paper quilling on top of it, and there's just something so deeply therapeutic to me about the process of rolling the paper spirals that I'm very excited to actually like dip my toes in and see what kind of really pretty art I can make. And then the last thing that I want to do is kind of like a hobby, but also just like a generalized statement, and that is in 2020 I want to become a plant person. I am friends with a lot of plant people, and they all have beautiful looking offices and home spaces that are so green and so alive, and my seasonal depression is shit in the winter. So I am making it my goal to start in January and acquire some succulents, some hard to kill plants. I do get good office light like through the window in the afternoon, so it's not completely hopeless. I have a black thumb when it comes to basically anything like that. So that makes me a little nervous, but I have great friends who have already offered me guidance, and I'm incredibly excited to make 2020 the year I keep something alive that's not a human or a pet or a mammal of any variety. Plants, basically. If you forget to feed your human child, it will tell you. If you forget to feed your plant, it will not. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, there you go, friends. Those are my 2020 hobby plans. Let me know down below what skills you're planning on learning. If you have a different way of goal setting or a different kind of way that you break that down in your brain, I would love to hear about it. Otherwise, leave me an emoji to let me know that you got this far. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have happy reading.